I can't even remotely recognise that girl now. She's completely gone. I've lost my identity completely.
The debilitating effects of long COVID are still unravelling, just like the lives of some of those affected. Tanisha was a tennis prodigy before developing the condition.
Losing your independence, your identity, your joy, everything overnight, it's not something anyone can prepare you for.
Now, new research into long-term damage from COVID suggests it can cause organ abnormalities, as it has for Tanisha.
I had heart inflammation and sinus tachycardia. My lungs, I've got mild reduction of gas transfer, and they're trying to rule out blood clots in my lungs. My liver, some enzymes went a little bit haywire and they think it might be liver inflammation. My uterus is also inflamed. My brain, they said, is working below capacity, and that's not how I was before. Like, this is just all stemming from long COVID.
Tanisha welcomes the new study to better understand long COVID, a study which saw MRI scans carried out on hospitalised COVID patients, showing nearly a third had damage to organs 5 months later. Lung injuries were almost 14 times higher than in people who had not had the virus. Abnormalities in the brain were 3 times higher, and kidneys 2 times higher.
You can see that there are these white intensities in the white matter of the brain of this person who was previously hospitalized with COVID-19.
Leading the research was Dr. Betty Rahman, who said those in the older age groups were more likely to suffer long-term damage.
On average, people with multi-organ abnormalities were older than those without multi-organ abnormalities. So they were on average 59 years old, 7 years older than those without multi-organ MRI abnormalities. So that appears to be a risk for ongoing damage.
Earlier this year, it was estimated that 1.9 million people were experiencing self-reported long COVID. And with the virus still circulating, there are calls from medical professionals for more research.
Those people who've had them very early on in the pandemic and have been suffering for a couple of years and more now, whether this is something that will then spontaneously resolve over the forthcoming months and years, or whether it would need an intervention. The fact that we're seeing people with persistence of symptoms 2 years and longer suggests to me that there would need to be an intervention.
One limit was that researchers couldn't be sure some organ damage didn't predate COVID, but it offers more insight into what has become for many a life-debilitating condition. Adele Robinson, Sky News.